little thing we see that's green has been incubating and cocooning and growing and connecting and nourishing. And now the little green things just are starting to pop up. This is my favorite time of year. And I'm wearing this scarf that was handmade by a woman, I think, in Laos. And I just recognize the symbolism is a pregnant serpent. Spring, right? Spring, I'm wearing spring. Anyway, so glad to be here. We had our equinox on Tuesday, which is the balance between night and day, equal balance. The full moon, let's see, when was it actually full? Was it last night or is it tonight? Did anyone see it this morning at 6:30 by any chance? As it was setting? You saw it, Karen? This is such a beautiful time of year. And tonight, in the wee hours of Monday, between 1:30 and 5 o'clock in the morning, it will be a lunar eclipse. Yeah, so get up early or stay up late and maybe catch a little glimpse of that. So the cosmos is going through spring, and throughout history, people have built buildings that mark this special time of year. So I just learned when I was reading about it, I was like, aren't there any modern buildings that the sunset or sunrise of equinox lights up a wall or something? I couldn't find any, but ancient buildings. So we have Stonehenge in England that's lined up. We have the Easter Island statues are actually facing perfectly where the spring solstice sun sets. I thought that was kind of cool. Chichen Itza in a temple in Mexico lines up. The serpent shadow shows right, I think it's at the sunrise of the sunset of the equinox. I would love to see that someday. So all over the world, there are monuments and temples that are aligned with the sun and solstice. Well, why is that? Because we are the environment. We are not just these bodies. We are everything around us. And this is a special awareness time, an invitation to raise our awareness, to revitalize, to replenish, to re-nourish, to re-energize. Because spring is here. Let's take advantage of that energy. So we're going to use our 12 powers in a minute. So everybody should have a little piece of paper. It's a little cheat sheet of the 12 powers. We're going to use this in a minute because revitalizing and replenishing our divine capacities, our divine powers, helps us. Yeah, there's a whole stack by the front, Mary, on the thing. Yeah, there's plenty. There are plenty. So these 12 powers we innately have. They can't be diminished or taken away from us, right? We just have to tune into them. We already have them. These are part of the unity teachings. Who needs one? Raise your hand. We've got some more coming. Okay, thank you, Mary. And by reawakening our awareness of these, and kind of revitalizing them with the powers of spring that are all around us, we're actually renewing our Christ consciousness. So our higher self, our higher consciousness. Why is that important? Well, that's a teaching of unity is a model for the consciousness that we could achieve, uses Christ as a model. So that the short-term word for that is Christ consciousness. All that means is to be as good as we can be for ourselves, our loved ones, and everyone in the world, to be the change we want to be in the world. So these powers that we all have are a handy tool for getting us there more often, reminding us that we are divine expressions, just like we went through in our opening invocations and our mission and our vision. So this is what we're doing today. And I brought my drum so that we can do a little ceremony together. Thank you, Chris. So why are we doing this? Because it's the full moon, the spring equinox, and the eclipse of the moon in the wee hours of the morning. We've got all this activity that's been happening below the soil and inside the trees that is now starting to come forth, and we're going to leverage that for our own power. But I wanted to just start with this really powerful, some of you may have seen it, pretty powerful affirmation that was in the Facebook group of the Unity Center of Peace, the members online forum. How many of you are members of that Facebook group? Okay, if you're not, you might want to go and take a look, because We post meditations on there. And here's an affirmation. So why don't you just repeat after me, just so we can get in the mood here. It's got 4 lines. So I'll say it, and then you can just repeat after me. And we'll do this at the end, too. I am a vital part of the interconnected web of life, honoring the sacredness of all beings, and nurturing harmonious connections. Does that feel good? Yeah. Let's do that one more time now that you've gone through that, right? Let's just feel your feet on the ground. Open your heart. Maybe put your hand on your heart. I am a vital part. There we go. More life. Of the interconnected web of life. Honoring the sacredness of all beings. And nurturing harmonious connections. Yes. Yeah, feel that. Feel that. Doesn't that just feels so good? So I found a poem that I think really embodies this feeling that we just created together. It's called Jailbreak. It's by Maya Spector. And it's part of the We Moon book, if anybody has that. You'll see that in the 2024 version. It's time to break out. Jailbreak time. Time to punch our way out of winter's dark prison. Lilacs are doing it in sudden explosions of soft purple. And the jasmine vines and the ranunculus, too. There's no jailer strong enough to hold spring contained. Let that be a lesson. Stop holding back the blossoming. Quit shutting eyes and gritting teeth, hunching shoulders and curling fingers into fists. Lose your determination to remain unchanged. All the forces of nature want you to open. Their gentle nudge carries behind it the force of a flash flood. Why make a cell your home when the door is unlocked and the garden is waiting for you? It's Jailbreak by Mary Spector. All right, time for the cheat sheet. So let's revitalize our divine capacities and re-energize ourselves so we can power up our own jailbreak. So what are these things? This is just a little reminder. I like to think of these powers, and there's been a lot of talks about each of these powers. Sometimes we do a whole series about them, so you could really go in depth about each one. This is just like a little reminder and an invitation maybe to go in depth into a couple that you might want to take on and be more aware of. So let's go through them. I think of these as keys to divine ideas. So the way that I think about this is, if I want to be the change I want to see in the world, I want to be good, do good, have good, share good. That's kind of how I think about it. Good, love, whatever word resonates with you. So I view faith as a way of perceiving these divine ideas. Because behind all forms, behind all people, behind all plants, behind all situations, those are just expressions. Behind those are divine ideas, the divine realm. And we're expressions of the divine. What's that mean? So we're just the tangible 3D expression here in this world. Behind it is a whole other thing. The different dimensions or some of the teachings in unity. But it's these divine ideas is really the key. If we can tap into these divine ideas, we can be even better expressions of compassion and love and source and health and wholeness and all those things that we want to experience and share with others. So faith is a key for perceiving those divine ideas, because faith is standing in that knowledge that we are divine and that all those things are available to us at all times. We're just not always aware of it, and we might not be expressing it to the best of the possibilities or abilities for various reasons, and that's why we're here, to learn. So that's faith, is perceiving the divine ideas. So what's love? This is a key for harmonizing ourselves with the divine ideas, right? Harmonizing ourselves. Wisdom is for discerning divine ideas, right? Is this coming from my ego, or is this coming from my higher self? Is this coming from my connection with Source? And then what's power? It's not power over. It's not even necessarily power to. It's not that type of power. Related to divine ideas, this is really our power to have, I think of it as control of ourselves. Like, when you're really ill, or you're grieving, or you're really angry, or you've been triggered, or sad or depressed. It's like you're not really your full self, are you? We need to experience those feelings. But the more that we can use our thoughts and our minds and our affirmations and all the tools that we learn here in Unity to align ourselves at the higher source, the more that we can make better choices and discern choices and choose to respond, not react, for example. That's the power, our personal power. So that's our power for controlling our thoughts and feelings to access these divine ideas, to get above the fray, to get above the drowning, to experience those things from a higher perspective. Okay, we also have understanding, a key to know and perceive divine ideas. And you'll notice some similarities in faith, love, wisdom, power, and understanding. These are all ways of being. These are ways of being in our consciousness. Meditation's a great way to access these and to be in this being more often. So that's a way to know and perceive divine ideas. And now we're getting into the manifestation powers here. Imagination, picturing, visualizing, or sensing, imagining something, and bringing that into form. So how many of you have been cocooning over the winter and just kind of hunkering down, being quiet, maybe reading things or catching up, or maybe you've been working on a project, right? This is a time of cultivating. This is a time of imagination. This is the time of those roots growing underground, and now it's almost time to peep up, or maybe they're already coming up here. But imagination is one of the key powers to help us manifest things in our lives. And then there's will. Okay, will. This is about committing to those divine ideas. So the divine ideas that we do receive in times of imagination and meditation and prayer and dreams and visions and all that, well, once we commit to it and we use our power to fully commit to manifesting it in this world of form in our own lives, that's a pretty important power. It's not just our ego's willpower, though. It's bigger than that, right? But this is why this is an invitation to go deeper. Okay, we're almost done. We've got 5 left. Another key to manifesting. We'll hear divine order, right? Let's let things unfold. All right, well, this is our power to organize and sequence things. This is our power to plan. If you've got an idea or a project, part of that's planning, setting a goal, setting a timeline, getting it on your calendar is always a key piece. So things having to do with the unfolding or order. Then we have this power of life, and this is our life force. How many of you do Qigong or Tai Chi or have a breath practice? So you know how important that is to really cultivate that feeling of energy in your own body. Maybe you get that from walking, running, exercising, going to the gym, playing music, right? That's like, you feel that life power. That's a divine power. And then one of my favorites, zeal. This is really your passion. This is that enthusiasm for moving something into form and into manifestation. These are all powers of moving things into form. So we've got will, where we commit. We have order, where we're sequencing and organizing. We have life, which is just pure life force and joy. Zeal, passion. And now we have strength. Strength, I like to think of as patience and perseverance. Just because you think of it and you order it and you put it on your calendar and you have energy applied to it, still might not happen, right? Yep, I've experienced that for decades, but I'm here to testify that even after decades, and I'll tell you a little story, this stuff really does unfold. It's just amazing the way it works. It just maybe takes some time, but there is no time. It's infinite, just like you had in your song. Okay, so strength is the patience and perseverance to see it through. You committed. Doesn't happen when you want. Well, divine timing, you've probably heard people say that. Just keep at it, right? Not done yet. And then this last one is elimination. And this, or renunciation's another word for it, maybe this should be first. Because you can't really be faith, be love, be wisdom, be power, be understanding, and do imagination, will, order, life, zeal, and strength if you don't have room in your life to do this, because you still have old patterns, maybe old habits, old ways of being, old ways of living that just don't have enough room for this new thing that you're trying to create. So this is a, put it on your refrigerator, do whatever you want. I'm actually going to give you an invitation after we do this little drumming. When we're finished, I'm going to have you pick one of these words and see, don't use your mind to pick it. I'm going to go into a brief little meditation. But you know how Karen was up here with the prayer box, which is still here. So that's usually at the front when you walk in. I invite you to put your name on this, circle a power or two that are really something you want to, something that's calling to you that you want to focus on with the power of spring, and drop this in the prayer box. Right? And then the prayer team can help another power adding their prayer power to your intention to help you revitalize these powers in yourself and reactivate them. So I'd like you to join me. This is my medicine drum, the swan drum. And I'm just going to drum a little heartbeat for you. I invite you to just close your eyes, hold that piece of paper, maybe between your hands or on your heart, whatever feels right. We're using it as a little prompt. And I invite you to just close your eyes, take a deep breath. Breathe in. And picture yourself or feel yourself, sense yourself as the roots underground. Growing roots, extending out, finding water, finding nourishment. And what's something that you might really need right now? Is there a power, an ingredient, an aspect of the environment that you really could use to help you burst forth through the soil and into the sun? Take a peek at that paper between your hands. Pick one thing, maybe two. What calls to you? Don't give it too much thought. Just go with your first impulse. Then close your eyes again. And conjure up the feeling of that power. What does that feel like in your body? Breathe it in. Feel it entering the crown of your head. Feel it flowing down and nourishing every cell in your body. Your heart is pumping it through your body. It's filling your lungs with your next breath. Let it sink all the way in. And now I'm going to invite you to breathe it in and hold your breath. Hold your breath, hold your breath, hold your breath, hold your breath, hold your breath. Okay, let it out. Now open your eyes and look at one other person. Just look at one other person's eyes and see if you notice a little sparkle. And see if they notice a little sparkle in you. You're saturated with that power. It's got to show up through your eyes, right? So remember that each of these 12 powers is already present. You already have it. You don't have to earn it. You already have it. Born with it. Doesn't mean you're aware of it all the time. But we've got all of us have all of these powers. And you just revitalized a couple, whatever one or maybe two that called to you. And this helps us regenerate our Christ consciousness to become the change that we want to see in the world. However, there are things that get in the way. Like I said, this power of elimination is used a lot. When we do our outdoor ceremonies here, we are inviting people all the time to offer things to the fire to release. An awareness, a way of being, a pattern, a relationship, habits of mind, a feeling that no longer serves them, and we invite people to release it into the fire. There's so many ways you can do it. That's just one way. But this power of elimination is critical when it comes to cultivating something that should be on that list as a 13th power, compassion. And how many of you are in the book group for nonviolent communication? Oh, a good number of you. All right. So chapter 9, I believe it is, 8 or 9, is all about self-compassion. And what I loved about that chapter was he boils it down in a very handy way. He says, okay, how do you know if you're self-compassionate or not? Your language. Are we using words like should? I should do that. And then, of course, if we don't should it, then we're bad, I guess, right? It's like always on the to-do list. I really should do it. I haven't done it yet. Oh, no, And then we start this negative self-talk. How many of you experience that? I should do it. I haven't done it yet. Or I must. Or I have to. If you and your family and your friends, you hear yourself using those words, should, must, have to, that's an awareness that there's something behind there that needs taken care of, right? There's something behind those words that's an invitation for you to become aware of a gap, something that needs to be filled, a need in you that maybe you have to tune into your body, or maybe you have to do some meditation, or there's something in there, an emotion perhaps, that usually just needs to be heard. Usually it just needs to be heard. Okay, thank you for sharing. Now I can move on or do something about it, dig deeper and really do my inner work. But I just love that he boiled it all down to that. He goes, we shouldn't have to be should-haves, right? We shouldn't be shoulding ourselves or other people, right? No more of this self-judgment and judgment of others. But it's easier said than done, right? Because there's not very much about our culture, especially media, that helps us not be judgmental. And we hear it in our environment all the time. So just becoming aware is very, very important. So the judging, but there's also feelings related to these shoulds and musts and have-tos. Behind there are needs that aren't met, but there's also real trauma and shame and guilt and fear. I mean, things that take work to get over. You can't just release it in a fire, right? So this is all part of our humanity. This is part of our learning. This is part of why we're here as a community. This is why we're learning tools to help ourselves. This is why we go to therapy and see counselors. This is part of the work of living. This is the fun, sort of. But it does pay off. But rather than talk about it, I wanted to share a meditation. So how many of you have done the metta, or the meditation, or Tonglen, which is the Buddhist technique? This is sort of a modification of that we're going to do together. So rather than think through it and reason through it, let's see what we can do using our heart energy and these powers that we've reactivated. And Chris, I'm going to use my drum again. So I invite you to put down whatever's in your hands. And we'll use the drum. Take a big deep breath with me. Feel your feet on the ground. Let the chair hold you up. And really sense the back of your body touching the chair. Maybe you can sense your heartbeat. And really really bring your attention down into your heart, like you're taking an elevator down there. And find the little door behind your heart that takes you into the silence of meditation. Let's begin by picturing a person, somebody that you know, a family member, a loved one, somebody who is suffering in some way. Maybe they have shoulds or have-tos. Maybe they're dealing with trauma. Maybe they're dealing with health issues, suffering physically, emotionally, or mentally, or physically. Just picture them there, heart to heart. Now picture their suffering. You don't have to identify it or give it words. Just picture it as a dark rain cloud, a dark cloud. And we're all powered up here. We're all powered up. And you're going to breathe in that cloud into your heart and transform it, transmute it with your love. So as you take your next breath, just breathe in that cloud right into your heart. You might even picture your heart doing the breathing. Bring that energy in and transform it in whatever way feels most appropriate to you. Sense it or feel it or picture. Feel it releasing and transforming. And now breathe in that suffering and breathe out love. And let's do that again. Breathe in that person's suffering and breathe out peace. And let's just release that now. Good job. Now picture your own suffering. Picture your own suffering as a dark cloud. Breathe that into your heart. Transform it with your own love. And let's use our breath to help. Breathe in your own suffering. Breathe out love. And see that cloud dissipating and transforming into light, into love. Breathe in that suffering. And breathe out peace. Now let's widen the circle to our loved ones, friends and family. See their suffering as a dark cloud. And when you're ready, breathe that into your heart. And transform it with your love, breathing in the suffering and breathing out love. Breathing in, transforming, and breathing out peace. And for the last round, we're going to do all beings on the planet. Not just people, plants, animals, Mother Earth, the elements. Breathe in all of their suffering. Nothing is too great for us. We are powered up with our divine power. Bring it into our hearts. We're doing our part. We're doing our part. Breathe in that suffering of all beings and breathe out love. And breathe it in again and breathe out peace. And take a pure breath of pure love for yourself and your ability to use this capacity of love and life and power to benefit others in this small way. And when you're ready, wiggle your toes, Wiggle your fingers. Come back into the room, feeling well-being and joy and zeal and life and power. Whew. That was really important work we just did, right? It took 5 minutes and it was a major cleansing. All right, we're going to end with our affirmation that we started with. And thank you for sharing that, sharing your love with everybody here and beyond. Okay, ready? Take a deep breath, wiggle a little bit, come back here. All right, here's your revitalization. I am a vital part of the interconnected web of life. Web of life. Honoring the sacredness of all beings. And nurturing harmonious connection. Thank you. I wish you a happy spring equinox, and I can already see your little green sprouts sprouting up, and the sparkle in your eyes from your revitalized powers. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm.
Hi. If this video has inspired you, opened your heart, expanded your consciousness, filled you with hope, empowered you in some way, we encourage you to support what we offer here at Unity Center of Peace by making your donation now. And thank you.